Hello my internet friends and welcome to The Waking Dreamer. So today, once again, it's time for Asaf Avidan, your anchor. First thing I check when I load Asaf Avidan song is lyrics, no subtitles available. So I'll have to check them on after the song is done. I know he sings in English, but sometimes you just can't follow it all in a proper way because I speak English decently. However, it's not my primary language, and sometimes the lyrics go by fast, and I just can't follow in a proper way. So after the song, we're going to check out the lyrics separately. Okay? Okie dokie, artichoke. Let's check the audio. Audio is good, and here it's good. Let's get ready to rumble. By the way, this was a request by generous patron on Buy Me Coffee, and as I mentioned on the previous song, with Assaf, it's always you never know what to expect. Every song is different, so once again, it's a one-man army. So the only thing missing here is so he's doing the drums, the electronics, the singing, the guitar. The only thing missing here is a harp. You know, it's like. Okay guys, this is something I have not asked ever before in my life. So these shoes he's wearing, what type of shoes is that? Where do I get them? Because I like a piece of clothing like once in 2 years. I notice because I basically wear anything. But these boots, shoes he's wearing, combination of shoes and boots he's wearing, really cool. It's like leather, but it looks like it's high quality, but it also looks like it's old in a way, you know? It looks old, but in a good kind of old. So if anyone knows, let me know. This is actually, I have 530 videos on YouTube, approximately 550 maybe, and basically this is the second time I'm asking this. I only asked once, like 2 months ago, about a jacket Dimash Kudaibergen was wearing. I asked someone if someone knows where to get that. So this is the second time I've asked about a piece of clothing. So this is a one-off or a second off.
Baby, you're my dream. She said, no, I'm just your wish.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant lyrics. So, at what point does an anchor become a chain? Or is it both in the same time? Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. So this song, as anyone who's watched knows, my favorite song by Assaf is the what the hell is wrong with me? Is the Labyrinth song. I almost said Manticore song, but then I realized it's not Manticore. The Labyrinth song, because of the lyrics. I'm always like the lyrics. To me, lyrics are a huge part of the song. So this is so clever. And it's something that I never thought of. You know, not in that way. So it's ingenious. So A question for the audience in the comment section. At what point does an anchor become a chain you can't get rid of? And at what point does a chain become an anchor? So it's, or is it both always at the same time? Beautiful, beautiful conception. Never thought of that.
I'm your anchor, and I sunbathing in my wings. She said, "No, you're just a fish." I said, "Baby, you're my dream." She said, "No, I'm just your wish." She said, "Baby, you're my river." I said, "No, baby, I'm your train." She said, "Baby, you're my color." I said, "No, baby, I'm your stain." And I said, "Baby, you're my diamond." She said, "No, I'm just a pick." I said, "Baby, you must be magic." She said, "No, I'm just a trick."
I love when a song makes me think, you know? At what point do you know if the relationship you're in, be it a loved one or a friend or whatever, at what point do you, is that relationship magic or is it just a trick? You know, it's because it's fucking important. It's important. It's very ingenious. This, I love all the songs that I listen to by him for now. For personal reasons, the Labyrinth song will probably remain my favorite no matter what I hear, because it's deeply intimate. But this is the cleverest song. This is, it talks about emotions, but in such a way that it really makes you think, you know. Genius, absolutely genius. Thank you for this recommendation on Buy Me Coffee. Thank you for this request. Very nice, very nice. Genius. Have you ever asked yourself about relationships, be it with your partner or a friend? The only relationship you don't have to ask yourself if it's magic or a trick is with your child, because that's the only connection, or with some other blood related relatives. Those relationships shouldn't be tricks. Those are magic, I think. With the child, it's definitely magic, and it should be with other relatives, close relatives as well. But that's not clear with at what point relationships are transactional and at which they're not. I can't imagine, but that's just, we are all prisoners of our own logic systems and our own personalities. So to me, I can't imagine my relationship to my child to ever become transactional. So, and that will always be magic. But wow, as I said, it makes me think. Let's continue, folks.
She said, "Baby, you can see me." I said, "No, baby, I just sense." She said, "Baby, you're my castle." I said, "No, honey, I'm your fence." And I said, "Baby, you're my lover." She said, "No, I'm I said, no, baby. I said, baby, listen now. I said, no, baby, listen, I love you. I said, baby. I said, baby, I said, baby, I love you. She said, no, you're just afraid.
Let it be known, I have never seen anyone do this with the guitar. Is there a name for this? I'm going to turn back a little. Okay, this is high-class musicianship we are witnessing right now. So this is so artistic. I actually think it was one of the things that I said on the previous song by Assaf or the one before. So one of the things that always when I meet someone and I talk to them, and you're talking there's one thing that will always make me facepalm inside of my head. And that's when I ask them what they do, and when they respond with, "Oh, I'm an artist," and fuck, yeah. Because to me, like, out of 1,000 people who say that they're artists, like, one is an artist. Just because you can paint, or because you can sing, or you can play an instrument, or something. I'm sorry, Van Gogh was an artist. John Lennon. Let's pick another one because he's controversial. But let's say Freddie Mercury was an artist. So you're an artist when you create something that's really artistic, and it's actually adds to the. So I sing, I can play an instrument. I would never in 1,000 years say about myself that I'm an artist. So not even 1%. So this, what we're witnessing now, that's an artist. That's creation of art. We are witnessing art being performed. It's amazing. You can see how unique and creative he is. When do you see this? Who do you see? This is a one-man army. One-man band. what the hell was that? What the hell did I just watch? So, what the hell did I just watch? So that was as original as it can get. So that's, I have never seen, so like I already subscribed and the like is there. Holy crap. Amazing. So I've never, okay, before let's get to the lyrics just a second. Let's get to the lyrics. Copy. Yeah. She said, baby, you're my gold. I said, no, babe, just your banker. She said, baby, you're my chains. I said, no, hon, I'm your anchor. Ay. She said, baby, I'm your gold. I said, no, babe, just your banker. Ah, genius, fucking genius. I said, baby, you're my wings. She said, no, babe, you're a fish. I said, baby, you're my dream. She said, no, hon, just your wish. This is so clever. She said, baby, you're my river. I said, no, hon, I'm your drain. She said, baby, you're my color. I said, no, babe, I'm your stain. Ay. It actually reminds me of a song. I have to think. I wish I was like Data, so like I could just be like accessing, and then just Data from Star Trek. I said, baby, you're my diamond. She said, no, babe, just your pick. I said, baby, you're my magic. She said, no, John, just a trick. She said, baby, you can see me. I said, baby, I just sense. She said, baby, you're my castle. I said, no, hon, I'm your fence. I said, baby, you're my lover. She said, no, hon, just your maid. I said, baby, I adore you. She said, no, babe, you're just afraid. Oh, genius. So, on its own, without the music, like it happens all the time with Asaf to me. If there was never a melody, if there was never a singer, this on its own as poetry is something to remember. You know, beautiful, ingenious, every part. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this so much. I'm going to send this to a few people. You know, it's like there's a movie. What the fuck is wrong with me? From 2015, and I can name 15 actors. At the beginning of the movie, there's a quote like, "Truth is like poetry," and everybody fucking hates poetry. But I have a few people in my life who appreciate poetry as I did, so I'm going to send this to them. I'm going to send them the song as well, but the lyrics. The Big Short. The Big Short is the name of the movie. That's where the quote is from. Thank you. I often feel like I'm getting senile or something. So I remember so many things, and when I can't remember something that I know, I literally will be in my bed at night, can't fall asleep before I remember something. And I have something strange. If there's any neurologist or psychiatrist in the comments, so for instance, I can't remember your name, but I can remember how many letters the name and the surname had. So, like, in what universe that makes sense? I went to something to the IRS a few months back, and they asked me who is the agent in charge of my case of my papers, and I said, "Oh, I can't remember. His name is 5 letters and his surname is 7 letters." So I remembered the number of the letters. I did not remember the name. So that's like, I can't explain that. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and liking, as that helps a lot, costs you nothing, and you'll get notifications for future videos. And Asaf will always have future videos. Thank you very much for this recommendation and buy me coffee. Thank you everyone for watching. See you, hear you on the next one. Cheers, folks.